Hey everybody, welcome back. James here again with you, and today I'm going to show you how to make a DIY, homemade, do-it-yourself side-shot scope mount with the right angle. It's not just a single pane of glass where you're getting the image on the opposite side of what you're seeing through your scope. This is the real deal. This actually makes the picture as if what you're seeing through your scope. So right now I'm recording through my phone, but the phone would be sitting in here in the phone case, and you have some lenses that capture the light from the scope and put them back into the camera, which causes the image shown. And then this end you look through, which I'll do some first shots with this later in the video, but I want to cover what I used and the tools. That way you can do it too. Very inexpensive compared to the real deal, which is I think they're on sale right now for $200. The actual name brand Sideshot, which are still really expensive for me. Just to do what I did here, it's just a couple dollars. So, and most of the stuff I've already had. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did this, and let's get to it. So before I get to the tools that I use, I'm going to show you the materials that I used. I used 1 1/4 inch pipe connector, rubber. You can pick up at your local hardware store. I think they're less than $4. I used a kid's Mega Block. It's a big Lego basically, but it helps with mounting the lenses, which I'll show you in a second. And then the two lenses, you need two different kinds. You need a regular glass pane. You can buy a sheet of glass pane at your local hardware store. I had a sheet cut for me a long time ago, and I still use some of it, but it was like $7, $8 for a regular piece of glass. And then you're going to need a mirror of some sort. I picked this up at my local dollar store and got like 2 or 3 mirrors on clearance for 75 cents. So now I'm going to move on to the tools. So the tools that I used is a glass cutter. I used a step bit that goes all the way up to 3/4. I used a cordless drill with a Phillips bit, just because to mount a phone case, in which this build is based off of, if you don't have a phone case, this is what you'll definitely need, because that's what you build it around to hold your phone on the mount. I used two screws about a 1/2 inch long, not real thick, as you can see, just to mount the phone case onto a rubber connector. And let me add an extra tool that I almost forgot to mention, which is probably one of the most important, is a hot glue gun to glue the lenses in the rubber connector. So let me get into explaining the build and how I done it real quick, and then we're going to test it. So the first step here is cutting the glass. So rule of thumb is just cut the piece of glass smaller than the inside of the Lego or Mega Block piece. Next here, I'm centering the Mega Block up, drilling the hole in the bigger portion of it. Using my step bit, I'm drilling the camera hole for the smartphone to see the lenses. And this is actually the place where the lenses will be mounted. I'm drilling the top out, so that's the eyepiece. That part will be back towards the eyepiece of your eye, so you can look through and see your scope as you're shooting. And then I put a dab of super glue, or hot glue, sorry, on the mirror, which I did not show cutting because it's the same as the glass pane. And then here I'm taking the glass that I cut and fitted to this Mega Block, and as you can see the angle I'm putting it in, it's going to capture the light and reflect it the exact right way. So now I showed that I drilled out the hole for the rubber connector, which I already had this rubber connector previously, but you just drill a hole dead center. Now that I have the mega block with the lenses inside, you push it on the inside of this rubber connector, and you use the rubber connector to mount to the scope. So now I'm going to mount the phone case to it with the 2 screws as mentioned. And you see some holes there previously. That's from other builds that I've done in the past on the connector and the rubber or the phone case.
Looks like a happy birthday cake.
So now I'm getting it centered up as possible. I know the exact location of my camera on my phone, which is a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, I think. So this build will vary per phone or whatever you're mounting this to, whatever camera you're using, whether it's a smartphone or any other type like GoPro. The position will vary, so that's up to the phone and the person making this. Alright everybody, I wanted to share the first shots with you of the homemade Sideshot right angle Sideshot camera mount using my Samsung Galaxy S7. Your phone may vary depending on if you make it for a phone. So I'm going to have the it's coming in pretty clear. I'm going to have the footage of shooting as a split screen effect, and I got some flipper targets downrange, and this is my factory Ruger 1022 at 50 yards. See how we do here. Nailed them. Well guys, I hope you try this build out. I hope you get something out of this video and try to build your own Sideshot camera mount if you want to, if you're interested in it. I just didn't see the need to spend as much money as what they actually cost, the real ones do, for something I can come up with and figure out on my own with playing with the angles. That's the only thing that really is the problem with the mount something like this, is that the angles you have to figure out. You know, a lot of people, and I've done it in the past, use only one single pane of glass to reflect or refract, whatever you want to say it, the angle or the view, but then you need to mirror that image to make it to the right side of the view. So everything, when I shot previously with a mount something like this, everything that was on the right in actuality was on the left from the camera, so it was the total opposite. Well, this setup with the mirror and the glass pane actually corrects the image to where what you're looking at through the scope is what the phone or camera or whatever you're using is actually recording. So everything is correct in the correct position. If you've seen, like I said, videos in the past, I've shot squirrels with this camera mount like this, and it shows the camera or the squirrel on one side of a tree, but it was actually on the opposite side. So anyways guys, appreciate you watching. Thanks again.